Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to the Rocket Radio podcast, the rebellious Pokemon podcast. I am Zach Toshi, joined by JPR, the Pokéraf, and infamous trainer. Say what's up, boys.
What's up, boys?
We got Raph back, by the way. He was gone. He was missing in action last week.
Yes, I'm back.
He's back with us.
I was sleeping.
Sleepy boy.
I came back alive.
Sleepy boy. All right.
Like hybrid hero.
Oh, hybrid hero. Rest in peace, hybrid hero. The new hybrid, the new sleepy boy. All right, guys. So we got a really fun topic for you guys tonight, talking about Nintendo Switch 2 and Pokemon, specifically what kind of games you'd want to see come up to the Nintendo Switch 2, whether it be ports or just new ideas that can be fleshed out on the Switch 2. But before we do that, as always, we got to plug the merch. Check out the merch store. As you can see here, Rocket Recruitment. We got hats, we got shirts, we got hoodies. Link in the description if you guys want to support the content, support the podcast, or just want to cop some cool merch. There you go. Make sure to become a channel member if you want to support even further. Join the Discord server for the $1.99 tier. Get full access to the podcast VODs once the episode is done. And then the $4.99 tier gets the members only monthly Tangent podcast at the end of every month, as well as discount on merch. So if you guys want to support us extrally and get a little extra content, well, there you go. Now without further ado, let's jump into the main topic, Nintendo Switch 2. So the idea that kind of, well, what helped spin off this idea that I had was like, what kind of things we could see, right? Obviously, one of the biggest gimmicks with the Nintendo Switch 2 is like the Joy-Con mouses. Now, although I'm not crazy about the idea, I did see a tweet from Joe Merrick talking about how, hey, now that we can kind of have slight motion controls with the mouse, what if they bring Pokemon Rangers back? So I was like, oh, that's actually a pretty interesting idea. So I kind of just wanted to have this time in the podcast, but Nintendo Switch 2 talk is still pretty relevant, even though it's going to cost an arm and a leg to get it. And Americans can't even pre-order it right now. But still, I think it's an interesting topic to have for the potential that Pokemon can have with Nintendo Switch 2. So I want to hear your guys' thoughts on that.
I know just the game.
See, before we fully dive in,
shooter.
that might be way too far.
Pokemon with guns.
Whoa, who would have thought of that idea? That's crazy.
Stream's over now. Stream's
I
over.
have a great idea for a Pokemon company.
I guess quickly just to talk a little bit more about the Pokemon Ranger route. I think very possible. The issue I think with going this route of just Pokemon Ranger is these Joy-Cons are too expensive, and what is the durability of these Joy-Cons with this mouse feature? Because dog, I can't be going through Joy-Cons left and right. They're $80 a piece.
Enough kind of distorting the bottom screen of your DS, and now it's like, oh, that's $90 to replace that Joy-Con there.
That's too much.
Not to mention the couch is gonna get all these cuts and scrapes when you're rubbing the mouse on it.
No, don't rub it on the couch, bro.
Where else are you supposed to rub it? On your knees, on your thighs?
A nice coffee table in front of you. Are you a caveman?
Bro, coffee tables are short though. They're not they're not a desk.
It ain't gonna be that, bro. Okay, just get that gamer hunch. Just lock in.
Forward
just lock in.
The mouse, on the coffee table.
Get that 45-degree angle going. That's how you're gaming,
God, why is your back so bad? I play Pokemon Ranger. It's a bad look. I'm sorry. No, it's not, to me that's the big issue that I would have with it is where do I put it? Where do I for the pretense of this particular motion? Where am I rubbing it out? Where am I using the mouse?
Whoa!
Oh my god! Whoa!
Where does it go? Because you're not always at.
You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna be like, guys, we are selling you the Nintendo Switch 2 cutting board for $80, and you can put it on your lap, and you can draw on that, and that'll be your little.
Probably will come up with some crazy.
They honestly would.
Mark my words. They're gonna have a little mouse pad thing for the Switch 2.
Don't mark up the couch. Get the Nintendo.
I ain't buying that.
I was wondering about that the whole time watching the Switch 2 Direct. I was like, okay, the mouse. I can see the mouse feature, what it does, but how am I actually supposed to use it? When they show it, it's on a hard surface. Realistically, am I doing that? What if I'm playing handheld mode? how the hell am I supposed to use the mouse feature? Like realistically, I can only see it being like doable for people like us who probably have, you know, their Switch docked up on their desk because they have it hooked up to their computer. But what about like the casual like little Timmies who play like in the living room with their mom and dad?
Yeah.
Just gonna start like Jaleel said, rubbing it out on the
Hot
couch.
take.
Pause.
I think this is a nothing burger feature, honestly. This is my prediction. I feel like sort of like the Wii U gamepad and like how it was supposed to have its own like complementary things to the TV. I feel like this is going to be one of those features that like they make just to get people like kind of excited, be like, "Hey, look guys, it's a new feature on this new console." It's definitely not just the Switch again, but no one's going to use it. Like no game ever is going to like properly utilize it, I think.
Yeah, there was that basketball game that they showed off, which is cool in theory, but again,
you
it's
can
just
be like a Paralympic basketball player, like cool.
I get to scratch up my couch, going like pretending like I'm using my wheelchair, just, like, scrape. But yeah, going back to Pokemon, I was just wondering like what could kind of work with that? Maybe not the mouse feature. I really don't think it's anything too crazy. I mean, it's cool that it's there, but like realistically, I don't think I'm gonna use it. But in regards to this tweet from Joe, I think it would be cool. I don't know if they'd do like a direct port because I don't know how they do like DS games right now, but maybe like a remaster where like, oh, it doesn't require like the bottom screen. It's just like updated controls to fit the Nintendo Switch, and maybe you can use the mouse instead of like obviously the capture styler, using the stylus for the capture styler. I think that's a really cool idea. Anything else you think the Switch 2 could probably pull off?
I want to see them bring back some of the older DS games, like you said. I don't know if they'll do it via port or anything, but I want to see Pokemon Dash come back. I actually liked Pokemon Dash back in the day. Whether or not if the
I just said he likes Pokemon Dash.
it was one of the few games I had. I don't know how the mouse feature would work in that particular game, or like you said, if they make a remaster.
It's the same like the wheelchair basketball game. You just
it probably will be like that. Yeah, to scurry forward and stuff. But I don't know. Maybe Pokemon Dash could be a game that could be either ported or remastered.
You know what I'm thinking really
someone
quick.
in chat just mentioned Conquest. Conquest port would be amazing, but
I heard that one was good.
Oh, yeah.
I think it sold too poorly that they'll ever do anything with it again. Honestly,
Yeah,
this would be their chance to revitalize it. Yeah.
I saw Conquest when I was younger. I was like, that looks boring, and I didn't buy it, so it's my fault. Sorry, guys.
well, like the problem was like it came out like right before Black 2, White 2, so like most people are like, nah, I'm just gonna wait for like the big game, you know?
Yeah,
that makes sense. What I was gonna say is that I just remembered because I forgot BDSP was a game, but technically, obviously, that was a game that came out on the DS, and it got like the remaster. So like all the touchscreen features, like they weren't. Like they were there, but they were like different spins. Like, you know, the Poketch was like on the bottom screen where you can look at the clock and all these different things. They found their own way to make it work without a touch
They made
screen.
it more like a top screen feature. They had that awkward like chunk of the screen cut out up there. So, it was weird.
So like there are ways to kind of make touch screen
How do you cook the poffins in BDSP? Did anybody do that?
I did not.
Yeah,
do that.
I think you just use your stylus and you just stir up the pot initially. Yeah.
So you have to do it in handheld?
Oh, well,
I genuinely don't know. I
don't remember. Like I might have cooked poffins like one time in BDSP.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't.
How did you do it on the TV? I don't remember.
It might be.
you have to flick the right stick to stir or something. I can't remember.
Maybe it's just rotate the stick. It's probably just that. It's probably just rotate
right now.
Similar to Sword and Shield, I think it was.
Oh yeah, you just use like your analog stick. Yeah,
the right
just
stick.
in the direction.
I mean, hey, it is what it is.
Boring.
Bro, I hated the curry cooking in Sword and Shield. I could never tell if I was doing it right or not.
It was kind of a gamble. There was like no way to like verify was this good, and then
they'd be like, fan the flames. I'm like, am I doing too much? Am I doing too little? There's no visual indicator of anything. Like,
it was pretty hit or miss.
Did it even matter at all? Like, I don't even know.
I only kind of just took it as if it was really bad at the end, they would make the face. That's the only way I could like confirm if it was good or bad.
Or there was like that little like quick time event at the end where it was like, this is the last shot. You got to hit the
the heart
right the right time.
I never hit
it.
But I'd be like, did I hit it or did I not? Like I genuinely couldn't tell.
I don't think it mattered.
Did not make it clear.
To be honest.
Yeah. I don't know if any of it mattered actually. I think it was just the ingredients.
I'm thinking of like, and I never played this, but I think probably an easier pick would be something like Pokepark, just because if you want to, like those mouse features, you can incorporate that with the mini games at some point, so it still can utilize all the core features that you would get.
Pokepark was high key slept on. I liked Pokepark.
and I know there's 2 of them for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The second one I
Probably
think is
just gonna
actually a
port
very
loads of
underrated game.
games.
The first one I can take or leave. I don't know if you guys played the first or the second one. Have you guys played Poke Park?
No,
I've never
I
played
couldn't
it.
afford it. You see, back in my day when I was a kid, I had 3 other siblings, so I had to be strategic when I wanted my parents to buy me a new Pokemon game. It usually has to be saved for the main series game that comes out once a year. Lord forbid, I tell my mom, "Hey, can I get a second Pokemon game this year?" I'm cooked. I ain't getting that.
No
Second-
one else in this call played Poke Park.
No.
Dude, I remember
Play
seeing this
Pokemon
trailer for
Dash.
Poke Park as a kid and being like, "Yo, that game looks heat. That game looks amazing. It's still amazing."
Same.
Okay, no. The first one's kind of lame. I'm not gonna lie. The first one's kind of lame. The second one goes kind of hard though. The second one was good.
Shout out to Trey. I know he loves Poke Park.
I think, I mean, why not, right? You can even make it a little bit on a larger, grander scale. You tons of new Pokemon you can incorporate in the game, so you have tons of options there. So I mean, everyone seems like slowly but surely we're getting kind of this like Mario Odyssey, Donkey Kong Bonanza / Odyssey. You start pushing the envelope, but it's like multiple used Pokemon you can kind of put in these open world sections and do the same thing. So
Yeah.
do it. That'd be pretty
I
sick.
see them doing that.
My
Especially
hot
with the new
take.
Switch power.
Even though I think the new Switch would be great for Pokemon Ranger, I'm not crazy about Pokemon Ranger. Is anyone here like a diehard Pokemon Ranger fan?
I'm not, but
played
I
the
know there
first
are
one.
people who really love it, and also like this would give me
It
the
has like a
opportunity
cult
to try
following
it.
fan base. Like
Yeah,
it feels like there are people out there who like Ranger as much as like people who like Mystery Dungeon, I feel like.
Wild.
Mystery
But hey,
Dungeon.
you know,
Nice.
every
But,
game
like,
has its fans, right?
I'll be honest,
True.
I only thought Almio was like kind of good, and then the rest were just eh.
I
only
would
played the
I would
first
like
one.
to try it given the opportunity. So like if they were to come on the Switch, that I you know, kind of like Jaleel with XD and Coliseum. It's a good opportunity. It's already there, might as well. So I'd be down for it, but like again, it's like I don't think it'd be that crazy. Like they brought back XD a few years back. Not XD, Mystery Dungeon a few years back, but that one makes more sense. I think Mystery
We
Dungeon
still
is the
need
most
Explorers
popular.
of Sky, bro.
We
We
do.
still need Explorers of Sky remade.
We do.
Oh,
Yeah.
You guys reckon they'll bring out like a sort of like collector's edition of all the retro Pokemon games maybe to put on the Switch? Obviously, I know we've got like the virtual console and stuff. I remember the Hidden Boys, wow, the Hidden Pod Boys,
Hidden Boys.
Hidden Boys,
Hidden Boys.
They hiding. They were
it's
literally
hard to
talking
say
about
when it
how
comes to the
maybe.
spin-off games because they're all made by like different companies, and
Yeah.
that there'd probably be like a lot of red tape to get around to sell them on like one cartridge or like one collection. Like if it was just like Gen 1 through 3, like core series,
Yeah, maybe
games,
something like that. Yeah.
something like that would be easier since it's all Game Freak. But like you've got Shunsoft and you've got all these other companies that work on all these spin-off games. I don't know how feasible that would be.
$80.
Yeah. I think on a like a weirder, cornier note, if they wanted to like still have people do something with the mouse feature, do like an updated Pokemon pinball. I saw that was on the list of games.
Oh,
And just have it to
that's
where
not
you
a
use
bad
the mouse
idea.
feature to pull down, and then
Just
That's
that one
fun.
thing. Just that one thing.
just
That's it.
get people engaged. Could be something. Just make again updated, because I think looking at the list here, they just had Pokemon Pinball and then Pokemon Pinball Ruby and Sapphire. So you could, I mean, you got your choice of what region you want to pick, or you can make it over, the cross. Like every pinball machine is like a generation, right? So you have tons of options.
We complain a lot about how like mobile games have kind of killed like Pokemon spin-offs, but like let's be real, Pokemon Pinball was literally just a mobile game but on Game Boy.
Yeah. Like if they were to make it today, it would be on your phone. Like that kind
Yeah,
of
like
makes
that.
sense.
That was
100%.
like just
So
the
simple, yeah.
kids' brain rot for back in the day. Was you get to play some Pokemon Pinball.
I think like the
Wow,
main
I can see
spin-offs that they have are like, the Poke Park series, Mystery Dungeon, Pokemon Ranger, like that, like the fully fleshed out games, not just like, a mini game. Like,
Yeah.
like that's basically like that's what it was, like essentially, which is fine for the time, but obviously like it's unfortunate on one hand. It's like, oh, it sucks that anything like that's non-main series is basically just, trapped in mobile game hell, but at the same time it kind of makes sense, like Pokemon Sleep, that like why would that be a Switch game? That don't really make sense,
Yeah.
So it is what it is. Just kind of them adapting with the times. But I would love to
Do
see
you think
more
they'd ever
traditional
make
spin-offs.
a Rumble comeback?
I was just about to say that. I was like, what about Rumble?
I
Because
was gonna
isn't
say Rumble and
there?
Puzzle,
There's
yeah.
like 4 of those, right? 4
Yeah,
different.
didn't
4 or
Rumble
5?
like weren't they like the first series to have like the amiibos made? But like they weren't even called amiibos yet. They were just called like the Nintendo action figures or whatever. Like it was.
I vaguely
But they
remember
weren't.
something like that. But...
They weren't very popular. It was a thing for like Rumble U. Let me look at Pokemon Rumble.
Rumble U makes sense. There you go. It was for the
Yeah.
Wii U.
Yeah. Yeah, Pokemon Rumble
It's
U
not bad,
NFC figures is what they were called. So not a catchy name at all. But
Terrible. Terrible for
And the
marketing.
last one they did was Rumble Rush.
that was like
I
that was like
haven't
the 3DS game that was like a mobile game. Like you could only play it for like 20 minutes, and then you had to like refill your stamina or something
That's
like
terrible.
that. They did like they did a bunch of like weird 3DS titles in the end of its lifespan where they were like, we're making like split release like 3DS and mobile games, and it was like
Just push them out. Just get them out there.
They were kind of bad.
I played Rumble Blast. That one was great.
Rumble Blast was like definitely the best one in the series. I think the others were just kind of like very shamelessly trying to get just money out of people.
See, I think this could be again another one that's like little party-ish. You know, you can play with your friends online or locally. This could be another really good option. And again, looks like you only went to Gen 5. You
Yeah.
can update. You got 4 of the gens you can play with, and that's not even considering that Gen 10 is whenever that comes out. So
I'll be real though.
Tons of
If they
options.
did make another Pokemon Rumble and they made it like multiplayer, like on the Wii, which they definitely should, they gotta update the graphics, bro. Like
Yeah,
They surely must.
I never liked the toy Pokemon thing where it's like, oh, they're like little low poly models and whatnot. I remember when I played Pokemon Rumble on the Wii for the first time, and my mom came in the room, and my mom is really easy to impress with video games. Like, you know, she grew up with like Pong and Pac-Man and stuff like that.
Classic,
So, you know,
classic.
she could see me playing Scarlet and Violet and go, wow, this game looks great, you know? Like that sort of thing. But I remember, like, as a 10, 11-year-old playing Pokemon Rumble on the Wii, and my mom walks in the room and she goes, wow, this game looks terrible. If my mom will say that about a video game, you know it looks bad.
Yeah.
Now they probably will update the graphics, especially with the new hardware that it's got.
They would have to at least smooth them out a little bit. And again, here's the big marketing ploy. Here's the full spiel, right? They drop the game, it goes up to Gen 6. Then every so often they drop a pack where you get Gen 7, Gen 8, Gen 9, Gen 10. Bro, and that's how they make money on this.
They're just
Easy.
gonna abandon the
done.
toy Pokemon motif. Just make them amiibos and call it a day, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe they just cut it out altogether and just straight up just give us like the Scarlet Violet models cleaned up and call it a day and be done.
That would be
Good.
nice.
They could, because they don't have to build anything. I just drop them in
Either
and then
them,
just drop them in
or
waves.
the Pokemon home models. Either one of them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they could do the Pokemon Home ones.
Now,
some options.
excuse me. All right, now shifting away from like, 'cause we mostly talked about bringing back older games. I kind of want to like talk about some new ideas that they could do. I'm thinking like, I feel like Pokemon is in desperate need of like a party game, because now that they have the terrible camera and screen sharing feature or whatever, it's cool in theory. And it has its uses, I guess, for casual fans. I think
Pokemon would go kind of crazy.
Pokemon is missing like a party game, because all the like multiplayer
like it.
Pokemon stuff is just competitive mostly when you think about it. But not everybody wants to be a competitive battler. Even for fun, people just don't want to battle. They want to do something more fun. And I feel like Pokemon's done a good job at like being more than just obviously the main series and battling. There's lots of multiple ways to enjoy Pokemon, but they're missing like just a very fun, casual party game experience for Pokemon. I feel like they could do it here.
I've got an idea.
I think the problem with doing that is like, how do you get out of Mario Party's shadow? It's like
Yeah.
making a kart racer. Like, no matter how good your kart racer is, people are going to view you as Diet Mario Kart. Like, if it's a party and someone's like, yo, I got Mario Kart, or I got Poke Kart, or I got
Kart.
Crash Nitro Karts, or which that game was fire, by the way. But like, if you got any other kart racer game ever made, people are going Mario Kart 9 times out of 10. Like, you can't dethrone the king.
Wait, Pokekart?
Yeah.
That's just Pokemon Dash, actually. Hold up.
I think
What
that
about-
becomes. Also, go ahead, Rafi.
I was just gonna say, what about if they made a game where it's a party game where they implement like the HMs from the previous games, or like certain items, and you have to use the Joy-Cons to play with them. So like, I don't know, there's a mini game where you have to do like use the fishing rod, and then as you get higher in the game, you use different rods or something, or using like Rock Smash for a certain course
Catch
or
me
something.
mating
I don't know.
B-barrel, bro.
Yeah, that's it. It's something simple
barrel
like that.
surf, dude. I think
You could
it
just
might go
use all the
hard
different
actually.
HMs for something. I don't know.
A
Yeah,
Scyther
I'm s-
cut
Just make use
challenge
of it.
mini game,
Mhm.
Yeah.
little
Yeah,
things
if it
like
was just a
that.
collection of games like that, like again, but you'd have to differentiate it from Mario Party. It couldn't just be a Mario Party reskin. Like they'd have to come with like a whole new idea, which I think is tough to do.
Yeah, the mini games would have to be very different, and then Mario Party has a lot of
Yeah.
mini games,
I
and
know.
even some of them you're like, bro, these are kind of mid. And some of them you're like,
Even
I
if
don't want to
they-
play this mini game ever again.
Bro, low
Even if
key,
they
I
take a
kind of
spin on,
hate
like-
playing Mario Party with my friends because like I'm the one dude who's like never owned Mario Party. I've always been like, what's the point? I only play this with my friends, and all of them
Mhm.
own Mario Party. So like one of them's either gonna bring it over or I'm gonna go play it at their place. You
Oh,
know.
boy,
So
reskin
they've all
as
had
well.
time to practice the mini games, and they
Oh,
always
no.
speed run through tutorials, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I had the worst time playing Mario Party because I never know how to do any of the mini games.
Yeah, we have it, but we never play it unless like friends are over. We're like, we're not touching this otherwise. Also, because it is a long game and playing it like just
I
between.
hate
like,
it, bro. I hate it. I'm always up, and then at the end, I lose by like 5 stars. It's
Oh yeah.
just
If it's like 2 a.m. and someone's like, "Want to play a round of Mario Party?" I'm like, "Dog,
Hell no.
I'm going to
No.
bed, dude.
Bro, you are
I ain't
crazy.
got an hour and a half to waste on this game."
I think if we're like talking new game category, and it's so weird because so many of these are like in shadows of other things, but maybe you go the route of like a life sim. I gotta like kind of use another Nintendo franchise. I would say something like Animal Crossing. Maybe you don't focus on battling and stuff. You focus on
Animal
like being a
Crossing
breeder.
cross with like Nintendogs. Like they've
Yeah,
already
yeah.
got,
Whoa, hold
Yeah,
up.
make
hold
it-
up.
they've
make
already
it like
got
a-
like the
a
Pokemon
breeder
Me
game.
feature that they've had since Gen 6 and all the core games.
Mhm.
I'm surprised they never expanded on that concept and made it into its own game where it's like you go in and you feed your Pokemon daily. Honestly,
that prints
yeah,
some
sounds like
money.
it'd be more
Almost-
of a mobile
almost like
game,
A
but
daycare, right?
Oh,
Just condense
man.
it all into
Yeah.
one. Your mini
Oh,
games
the
are there,
daycare.
whether it's
you'd
making
get so many
puffins-
white girls into Pokemon, dude. You'd get so many white girls.
Easy. It's honestly super easy at that point. You can still include evolutions of the Pokemon in that game. Great like ways to upgrade like your island or area or your daycare wherever you're at. You have mini games like creating puffins and Pokeblocks and stuff like that. Seems like a
Pokemon
pretty easy one.
Concierge the game. You like build up
Yeah.
your own island and stuff, and you like recruit Pokemon and you take care.
Whoa.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
that
cooking.
sounds good.
Wait a
I'll
minute.
play that.
Wait a
Right,
minute.
I'll play
right.
that.
I think that'd be the way
And
to
then-
go. Again, that's a whole
And then
separate
to make even more
thing.
money, you incorporate like a real life Webkins thing. You can go buy Pokemon plushies with a code, and you get to put them in the game using the
Oh,
code.
yeah.
It's
Dude,
a
no,
$1 million idea. Hire
Yeah,
me.
bro. Oh my god.
No,
You know what's
that's-
crazy
that's-
too? Pokemon, like you guys talking about this really has me thinking. Like Pokemon has always had like every main series game. I want to say from like Gen 6 onwards, they've always had like these little mini game things. Even prior to that, like if they just took all those like little features, mini games, like puffin making, sandwich making, Pokemon, the camping, me, put that all into one game. That like if actually flesh it out, that'd be pretty good.
You could
And that's the
100%
thing.
have a game that's like the base is like Pokemon and Me, but then it's like you have features like contests and Pokeathlon
Yeah,
that you can
exactly.
do on the
Yeah.
island.
Yeah.
Exactly. It focuses on those other aspects that aren't just like the battle league and things of that nature. And then think about the multiplayer aspect. You can then have your friends come over to your island or your area where they're helping you make the curry, and that boost up and give like Pokemon more XP and things like that. They can bring their Pokemon over, and there's ways to like introduce this. And again, if they want to go the money hungry scene, they then just drop waves of like Pokemon
Honestly,
in batches. Call
Yeah,
it a day.
this is a banger idea. If they're gonna copy anybody, copy Animal Crossing. Don't copy
100%.
Mario Kart. Don't copy Mario Party. Copy Animal Crossing because you have the brand identity. You could overrule Animal Crossing, honestly.
It's very like easy, right? All those cutesy Pokemon, put them in, make them like it's super easy, and then you give them everybody a choice of a starter at the beginning of the game you take care of, and you'll see it go as you go, and but it's easy work. It's easy work. Pokemon, just get it done. I think this kind of helps it compared to like something like again the Mario Party, because then you're like, oh, this is just Mario Party, or this is just Mario Kart, and those are so dynamic in the sphere. I feel like you could probably get over on Animal Crossing because Animal Crossing is very iconic. Let's get that out first and foremost. But I feel like Pokemon could put a good spin on it to where it feels different and people can get invested and like, yeah, like Animal Crossing is fun, but this is Pokemon Care or whatever they're gonna call it, right?
Pokemon
so there's a couple
Care.
options.
Yo, bookmark Pokemon Care. It's gonna show up in the next direction. We're like, Jaleel was right.
I want my cut, Nintendo. I want my cut, please. I just need the 5% off the top. That's all we need on the side. I think it'd be pretty sick. Another option, maybe a rhythm game. I don't think they have one. Rhythm games aren't like a huge thing anymore. If you want to like get people on their feet, utilize the camera feature. Maybe you do something just dancing.
$10
Got
shovelware
OSTs,
game where it's
yeah.
like you just do like random Pokemon battle themes and stuff.
Yeah.
It'd be
Yeah.
Pokemon has so
people dance
many
to Pokemon
like
music.
good and
Oh.
iconic themes. I think there's a lot to work with there actually.
Easy one. That's
That
what I
would
would
be pretty
recommend
good.
as well.
Look at that. We're cooking, bro.
Poke Beats. I want my cut, bro. I
If this
need-
podcast gets taken
5%
down
off the top.
within the next year, you know
You know
why.
why?
You know what happened.
If it
They're
mysteriously
taking
gets
every
like
idea.
deleted, bro.
Getting copyright claimed for ideas.
Oh man. Remember that Rhyhorn racing minigame they were supposed to get from XY?
Dog, don't remind me.
Mm.
I would have ate that shit up, dude. I would have gotten world records in every Rhyhorn racing course. I always thought it was weird how they have that one route to like the east of Santaloon City where you can literally see a Rhyhorn racing racetrack in the background. And I'm like, so much of
Yeah.
this game revolves around Rhyhorn racing, and yet there's nothing to do with it in
It's
the
very
entire
weird.
game. I'm like, yeah. And when I heard that there was a cut feature in the Terra League, I was like, that makes too much sense, actually.
Man, you know, I'm thinking about it. We were saying obviously, you know, Mario Kart owns the racing genre, but I think Pokemon still they can still like do something in
Pokemon
there
racing.
because like how unique all the creatures are. Like imagine like it's a Pokemon racing game where like not just Rhyhorn, like you ride multiple Pokemon, and obviously depending on the Pokemon, you can use different moves, and that can like affect over how slow you are, like your range, and stuff like that. So like instead of like, you know, the item boxes from Mario, it's just like, oh, it's just the moves that you use, and maybe like the occasional like Pokemon items, like I don't know what's something you can kind of throw at an enemy.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what this.
But then, I think the problem with that is that it's like what makes Mario Kart so compelling and like that feeling that like any casual player can win is the randomness and like the item boxes and whatnot.
Mhm.
If it just is like the Pokemon moves determine who wins, then like I feel like inevitably the top tier Pokemon are just gonna like phase everything out, you know?
True.
Mm.
I'm sure there's a
Yeah.
way that they could probably like balance it. It doesn't have to
They'll
follow
probably just make it
exactly
all
like
balanced.
the main series,
Yeah.
but I think it'll be like really fun. Like imagine like there's one person who's like riding on a Charizard, and then another one who's like, I don't know, riding on a Goldango surfboard.
Revavroom! Revavroom!
Oh, that'd be pretty sick. Yeah.
Like it'd just be select Pokemon that are like built for racing or like could fit in this. Like obviously you're not gonna ride like a Caterpie or something. That doesn't make sense. But you know, like usually
Well,
like, the
that
big
just
ones-
might
Honestly,
be funny
After,
on
after
Well,
Gen
Dog.
9,
Well,
there's
if-
enough like car-based Pokemon between like Cyclizar and Revavroom and
That's
Miraidon.
Don't have Koraidon in it though. It'll be lagging if it has Koraidon in the game.
Oh my goodness. I think one category they could tap into something with like evil teams, like I wouldn't say like a heist game, but like almost like a villainous game to a degree where you play as a Team Rocket Grunt. Really time back to us. But also like other people, like you know, Team Galactic, Team Flare, whatever the case may be. Maybe dipping in that pocket gives you a different perspective to play. Not sure how that story would go or how it would work, but they could, you know, go that route to just give people a different option. You're always playing the hero. Maybe I want to play the villain
That's
for
such
once.
Could be
a
like a
cool
separate
idea, but I
entity.
feel like buried in a vault somewhere at Pokemon HQ, they have like the brand guidelines written where it's like you have to be friendly to your Pokemon no matter what, or this game's
Oh,
getting
yeah,
taken
yeah.
off the
Yeah.
face of the world.
Yeah. Definitely like an option maybe out there they could do it one day, because like outside of that everything else just feels either too outside the sphere, because I was like, well, maybe they do something like a Dragon Quest or something, but that just sounds too big for Pokemon. I just don't know if they would
love that.
be able to do it. A game of that scale, I would hate for them to try and do it and it's just garbage. So it's like I want to give a good like solution, but I don't want you going outside your depth on it. So those might be a little bit too ambitious
Yeah.
when it comes to those. But
I think
Jaleel. Go ahead,
They have
Zach.
Oh no, I was gonna say
Yeah.
like my last idea on this is like I guess scaling down now a bit, because we talked about like, you know, all these cool ideas. I kind of want to go somewhere a little bit more realistic, and I just kind of revisit something that we've had in the past. I miss when we had like mini games in Pokemon games. We don't have that, like the Pokeathlon or the contest,
Yeah.
like just extra content.
Like sandwich
can
making
do.
doesn't count, dude.
No.
Yeah, no, like that ain't it. Like, we lost the Rhyhorn racing from X and Y. Like, if we had that would have been great. Just give us more content that kind of fleshes out the region, that feels like part of the world. Is like, it's not necessary to beat the game, but it's just fun extra content. Like, one of the things I love the most, and we talked about this in like the previous podcast earlier in the year, was that like I love Pokeathlon, bro. Like, I think I've grinded more hours in Hard Gold Soul Silver playing Pokeathlon against my brother than I did like just doing main game stuff, because it's just so much fun, and I miss having like that extra content you could just dump hours into just because it's fun. But I guess that requires more effort, and according to the Rocket Rules from last week, Pokemon just stops putting in effort because we don't buy the games or whatever, some stupid crap like that.